Run, party, repeat. Welcome to the East Coast Adventures Dirt and Vert Podcast, where we talk all things running, racing, and training to help you get ready for your next big adventure.
Learn from our successes and our failures, and have fun at the same time. Join us right here every week with inspiring guests who share their captivating tales from the trails. And remember, nobody cares.
Run faster.
All right. Welcome back to the Dirt and Vert Podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Matt.
And we have Coyote Ugly's Racing race director, Mariah Fields, with us today. So Mariah puts on races in Georgia. Is that correct? Mostly in Georgia?
Yes, they're all in North Georgia.
North Georgia. And Mariah's also an ultra runner. I've stalked her ultra sign up page. There's a few races on there. And obviously, since this is a running podcast, we were going to ask you the question we ask everybody, and that's, tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into running.
Well, I'm Mariah, and I started really running in middle school. I started at Teasley Middle School in Cherokee County for 8th grade, about halfway through the year, and the track coaches showed up at the middle school, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you 8th graders come run track and cross country?" And I was like, "I don't have to try out? Perfect. I'll try that." So I started running track and cross country in 8th grade, and I loved it. I was not super good at it. I had exercise-induced asthma, which is not really conducive to a lot of running, but I ran anyway. And, as we do, life happens and things, I just wasn't able to run as much anymore. And, yeah, after a while, I was like, man, I sure do miss running. Let me try that again.
So did you stop running after 8th grade, or did you keep running through school?
So I ran all the way through school.
Mm-hmm.
I did not run my senior year, but I ran through 11th grade. I was on the varsity team, and at one point I tied for the high jump record. Someone has since broken both of ours. I was more of a jumper. I did do hurdles and the 4x4, but I'm not a sprinter. I can sprint, but I'm not a sprinter. We weren't winning any records doing that. So
That's
I
because
took some time off. Yeah.
That's because you were built for endurance running.
Yes, long
I just feel
distance.
and that's when I found cross country, and I was like, so going to Cherokee, I did not know that they were making me into a trail runner then, because I just went to track practice and cross country practice, and it was always at Bowling Park in Canton. And they have a gravel half mile. It's like the little pea gravel. It's not very thick, great for running on. You could even make it into 1 mile by going back closer to the woods. And so on days where we had track work, we would do a lot of stuff over there. But for the first 6 weeks of the season, it was go run 3 to 5 miles. And there were trails that went along the Etowah River behind the school in Bowling Park. They're still there. And that's where I started running was on the trails behind the high school. And it was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm in the woods and I love it.
That's awesome.
I didn't really know that trail running was the thing I know it is now.
Yeah.
It was just cross country.
Yep.
So you started cross country in senior year or freshman year, or
Freshman year.
and
Yeah,
you did it all 4 years?
No, I only did cross country for 2 years because I couldn't. I had a lot of bronchitis and the exercise-induced asthma, and I just couldn't breathe.
I bet that was hard though, not being able to do it.
Yeah.
It was, and I really did enjoy it, but I also did a lot of other stuff. Like, I was in the junior ROTC in high school, so they took up a lot of my time going to like thrill competitions, and like I was always on the color guard team, which presented the flags at all the sports events and marched in the parades and stuff like that. So that stuff kind of kept me busy.
Yeah.
Which the running did come in handy because they sent us to the Citadel a couple of summers in a row, like for summer camp for the leadership. And like they kind of treat that like boot camp in the summer. I mean, you go to the Citadel in July and they have you up every morning at 5 o'clock doing PT. Like, then you drill and march and go to class all day and you have a little free time in the afternoon. But on the last day, they have a race to see who can win the mile. And I went out and ran my fastest mile ever at the Citadel at 5.5 minutes and got the plaque for the women's mile. It was like my colonel was so excited. He's like, "You won the mile."
That
So,
is all. I mean, a 5.5 minute mile. Is that what you ran?
Pretty
That's
quick.
awesome.
yeah, I think that was my sophomore year.
I mean, you running at that speed, you just kind of blow the bronchitis out.
You don't have time for it to set in.
No, you're not letting it catch you then. So
After high school, did you keep running?
no, I took some time off. I moved out to Colorado for a little while, and didn't really exercise a whole lot during those years. Was more focused on having fun than being in that shape. Our daughter was born in 2009, and after she was born, I was like, oh, well, I would love to like get back in shape or whatever. And so running was like a very natural first line for that. Just being like, oh, well, I know how to move my body in this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of was off and on for a few years. And then in 2015, I really started getting back into it. And then I got pregnant again. So in 2017 is when I really got back to running. I started with a race at Bowling Park, and it was called the Tortoise and the Hare. Do you guys ever hear of that one?
I've heard of that.
Yeah. The concept is that you like guess your finish time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start in waves based on your estimated finish time so that the most people are at the finish line at the same time.
Oh,
That's
okay.
cool.
So like if you're really fast, you start later, and if you're slower, you start earlier so that the majority of everyone is finishing the race at the same time. I think they had a 10K and a half marathon, and I ran the 10K. And I about died. I was like, no, I could do this. This is trail racing at Bowling Park. I know what I'm doing. I did not.
That's a really cool concept.
That is. That's something I haven't heard. I haven't heard of that.
That's a lot of math for a race director to do.
Yeah, too much math.
Oh yeah. That's a lot of math for sure.
There's already like water math and sandwich math and potato chip math and soda math. I don't need to do finish time math.
No.
Yeah.
So
is that a pretty popular race? Because I have heard of that one. I just don't know much about
they're not
it.
doing it anymore.
Oh,
It
really?
used to be, there were probably a couple hundred people there that day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
and it
good.
was, I want to say it was like maybe April or May because it was hot. Not at first that day, but it got pretty warm that morning.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they only did it maybe 2 more years after that, and then they don't do it anymore. They used to also do one called like a Midsummer Night's Dream or something like that. It was also at Bowling Park, and it was just like 1 mile at a time for I don't know if it was a timed event, but it was overnight in the summer at Bowling Park, and you just ran 1 mile laps all night.
Are they any races right now there?
I think a couple of race companies do like some 5Ks over there. But I haven't seen anybody doing a ton of trail races. I see a lot of people on Strava running the trails at Bowling Park, but I don't really I've seen some mostly 5Ks that start and end in Bowling Park.
So, what was your very first race, like out of high school?
We have a race here in LJ that they do. There's two of them every year. One of them is the Run for the Sun, and it's usually around Easter or like between Easter and Mother's Day. And then there's the Apple Festival 5K. And I think back, we moved to LJ in 2012, and I think in 2013 or 2014, I ran like a 33-minute 5K at the Run for the Sun, and then I was like, wow, that was terrible.
That's not terrible for for your very first 5K. That's not bad at all.
The way it felt was terrible.
I mean, think back to high school and you ran a 5.5-minute mile, maybe, but like you hadn't ran in a while. So, or were you training at that point, or So that's pretty respectable.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just going out there, throwing out a 5K.
Yeah, some friends at work were doing it. I worked at a little restaurant here in LJ, and a couple of people were like, yeah, we're going to go out. We'll probably walk it. And I'm like, walk? It's only 3 miles. I can run that.
Nailed it.
Got it.
33 minutes later, I'm tasting blood, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I never knew what everybody, before I was not a runner. And I would hear people talk about running a 5K, and they'd be like, you're pushing hard when you taste blood. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't want to taste blood when I'm running. And now I'm like, oh, I know exactly what they're talking about. This sucks.
5Ks are rough. 5Ks are really rough.
I'd rather run a 50K, honestly. 5Ks are so hard. It requires a lot of effort. And now I've started to where I always run the 5K here in town if I can. And I have like a collection of first place in my age group trophies, and I won't accept anything less than that. Every year I'm going out there just like killing myself trying to run sub 24, and I can hit 24, and that's about all I can get. Maybe if I did some speed work I could get it lower than that, but
yeah. Standard has high.
So that was the first 5K. When did you move on to trying to do an ultra?
So I had a friend from high school that started talking about on his social media platform about like pacing a friend at Leadville. Ooh. And I was like, Leadville? What is that? I was like, 100 miles? Who's doing 100 miles? And then the next year he did it and he DNF'd, and I was like, wow. Okay. And then the next year after that, my brother was stationed in Korea, and to get out of PT, he did the marathon. He didn't know how long a marathon was, and he was not trained for a marathon.
One of those 5K marathons.
Yeah, he ran a whole road marathon in Korea, and I was like, okay, if my brother can do a road marathon, I could do a 50K. He didn't even train for it, and he finished it. I could do a 50K, and so after we had our second daughter, I started running again, and I didn't have any friends to run with because no one that I had made friends with here in LJ was a runner. And so someone suggested in a group that I should start a running club because there wasn't one. And I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. So I did. I started an LJ chapter of She Runs This Town here in LJ. And that gave me a really good excuse to randomly walk up to women who were running in LJ and ask them if they wanted to be my friend. So I say all that to say I met my friend Lee in that way. I'd seen her previously at like a MOPS meeting, which is mothers of preschoolers. She had a little newborn baby, and she was out there jogging in a jogging stroller pushing Henry, and I was like, she is my people. And so I introduced myself to her, and we got to talking back and forth, and we signed up for the early bird turkey trot half marathon. I did the half marathon, and she did like the 10K or something because she had just had Henry. And after that, we became like best friends, and I started talking about wanting to run a 50K, so we signed up for Cloudland together. And in order to prepare for Cloudland, Mystery Mountain lined right up with when we should do our last long runs. So we signed up for Mystery Mountain Marathon as a training run for Cloudland Canyon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
that's
so of all of your ultras so far, which one was the biggest learning curve for you?
Oh boy. Every ultra I have run has come with its own lessons, whether I have finished it or not. The first one was probably the hardest. I got a baker's cyst about mile 17. And I finished, which is stupid.
I don't know what that is, Mariah.
The back of my knee swelled up so bad that I could not fully straighten out my leg, and I could not fully bend my leg.
And that's called what?
A baker's cyst.
A baker's cyst.
Yeah. And so it hurt, and I did a lot of walking.
Does that now? I've heard that locks your leg, like you can't bend it, correct?
No. And the stupid part of that for me is it actually started before mile 17, but that's when I told my husband about it. I was like, something's going on with my leg, but I'm going to go to the next aid station, which was in the bottom of the canyon. Like, no, it's fine. I have trained so hard for this. I will not be sidelined by this little bit of knee pain. And I spent the next almost 4 months waiting for all of the swelling to go back down.
Oh, wow.
For my knee to feel like it was stable again. And I just had to like wear a knee brace and sit patiently and wait.
That's a new fear now. Never heard of that. I'm like, what is this going on?
I think I just went out too hard. Which we're all guilty of occasionally, I guess, but
I would never do that.
I mean, it's so funny. We had a guest on here, and he just cracks me up sometimes on Facebook. But there was someone on an ultra running page not too long, or maybe it might have been earlier in the year, but they're like, doing my first 50K. Anybody that has advice, any advice at all, please let me know. And Brian just responds back, and he said, PR your 50 or PR your 5K, walk it in.
Walk it in.
And I'm like, perfect, great. That's great.
I mean, it kind of feels that way sometimes when you get to the race and you're just like,
we're all guilty of it. We are all guilty of it at some point. We all somehow get a little excited on it. May not be every race, but there is a specific race where you just get excited. I mean, for Matt, it's Firewater. Matt does it every year. He races Firewater. And I always know he's going to go out too fast.
I didn't this year. This year, I paced.
But, everybody gets that excitement, and then you take off, and, like, you're a couple miles in, and you're like, well, I might be going too fast.
Oh, yeah, about 5 miles in, you're like, this is a little harder than it should be at mile 5. And you're like...
I learned a really valuable lesson 2 years later when I went back to Mystery Mountain Marathon. And the day before that was the Apple Festival 5K. And I have a teenage daughter. And she was running cross country that year. And she said, I said, I'm not racing today. And she was like, okay, that's fine because I would beat you anyway.
Ooh.
Oh, smack talking. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, bet. Like, fine. So I PR'd my 5K. I PR'd my 5K. And the next day I ran Mystery Mountain Marathon.
Oh.
And like my first 2 miles were in the 9s, and the rest of my race was me pep talking myself into, we signed up for this, you're gonna finish.
I bet you were regretting that 5K.
I really was. I was like, that should have been a shakeout run.
all you needed now was a phone call. Said, yeah, Mom, I could beat you in this.
I know, right? She's like, I could do better than you. I'm
Yep.
like, oh yeah?
Yeah. That's what you needed.
No.
So what has been, and I see that you've had several races on here. Did you say that you were going to run Grayson Highlands as well? That's what you all were signing up to do?
No, I haven't ran that one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I usually stick to like the North Georgia area. Just
sorry,
because...
Cloudland Canyon. I got
Yes.
confused.
Yeah.
So how did that one go for you? You did the 50K?
Yeah, I did the 50K, and I think I managed to finish. That was where I got the Baker cyst, but I still managed to finish in like 7:20-ish.
Okay, so that's the one that you got the Baker's assist on.
Yeah.
Assist.
And
yeah. Mystery Mountain Marathon could not have gone any perfect. That was like such a false, or maybe I was just really trained. Like it was such a false first race because nothing went wrong that day.
Well, that's great.
And my friend Lee had trained together, and she and I took first and second. Like she took first by like 20 minutes, and I took second. And then that's the only time I've ever podiumed at a race, and I was on cloud 9. So to come back and then go run Cloudland Canyon, and we were like, oh yeah, we're going to do so good at Cloudland. Look how we did at Mystery. Which is obviously not how things work. So
yeah, but if you look at the times, I mean, you got a 6:17 for the marathon, and then you got a 7:10 for the 50K. So I mean, that's yeah. So I mean,
I was having a really good day until I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's only an hour difference, really, and a little bit more.
And then I see another little race on here that's a pretty hard one. H9.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was my first foray onto the DRT.
Yeah.
I had such a great day, and it was such a weird time. I had a coach at the time, and she was like, "You're doing GDR," and I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Well, you need to like, have you been on the DRT?" And I was like, "No, I've only heard the stories." And she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna email Perry, and you're gonna do this race. Like it's past the sign off cut up. Like you can't sign up anymore. I'm gonna talk to him and see if he'll let you in." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll pay for it, whatever, you know." So I went out there and ran the 40K. About if you look at the date, January 1st, I had COVID.
Wow, 10 days later.
That's how I spent my New Year.
Goodness.
I never got I only had a fever and like body aches, and the fever was never really high, and I didn't get like super congested. But after that, it took me probably 3 weeks, and I would just get winded.
Yeah.
Just anyway. So that was my first time on the DRT, and it being Fierce Dragon, the snow was blowing sideways because it does every year.
Yeah, it's extremely cold in January in Georgia.
It is, and I actually thrive in the cold, and so I like lost my jacket in the first couple of miles, like actually had tied it onto the back of my pack and it fell off.
Oh
like,
no.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, we're going to keep moving because otherwise we'll freeze to death in this snow and ice up here, you know, because thankfully the trail was marked pretty well, and you could tell where other runners had been because there was a couple inches of snow up there on top, and that was probably like the sketchiest run I had ever been on up until that point. And I did not actually ever purchase a pair of poles until last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, you don't use those. only wimps use poles. You know, I can't be a wimp. So I didn't have poles. So that would have come in really handy on the DRT though, because it was nothing but slush. But it was still a really good day. I had a good time. It was kind of baptized by fire.
Yeah, that's not an easy course by no means.
No. I spent the entire day alone, and it was amazing. Just all by myself in the snow. Like,
it's amazing to be in a race and not see anybody.
It is.
You know, like at first you're like, I don't know if I enjoy this, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is actually kind of peaceful, and you still get to an aid station and people are helping you, and you just, it's nice. I've gotten used to it.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just like, when you start struggling, you're like, where do these people start catching me? Like, where is everybody at? And then nobody comes.
Yeah, the only people I saw were headed back towards me, and it were people that I had started with, and I was like, wow, you guys are so fast. That was a lot of fun though. I really liked that. I would do that race again for sure. I would consider doing the 40-miler if they would let me have somebody in the dark, because I am getting to where I don't mind running through the dark by myself, but probably not on the DRT, because remoteness and bears in the dark don't really strike my fancy.
I need to get on the Duncan Ridge Trail.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I assume you and Sarah must be friends because y'all are in the same area there. But I see that you have ran Cruel Jewel 50-miler 3 years in a row, and you have 3 DNFs in a row. So I just have to ask, like, why do you keep doing that?
I am not sure why I keep going back for Cruel Jewel. I don't tolerate the heat.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not a good race for that, man.
And even more so now because of, I don't know how much y'all get into this kind of stuff, but like I'm only 39 and I'm in surgical menopause now, and that has made it infinitely more difficult.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure. What is the farthest you've made it?
48 miles every year.
48?
48.
Of 60, okay? It's not just 50.
Yeah, but still, like 48's awesome. Like you're so close. Are you getting pulled because of the time?
No.
Just
No.
just
So let me
can't
tell
finish?
you, the first year I ran it 3 years ago, it rained for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is fine. I love the rain. I don't hate it. I really don't. Even for 6 hours, I wasn't mad about it. I'm like, whatever, this is amazing. I was hot anyway, so I was like, this is great. The rain is cold. Let me take my hat off and let it rain on my face because I'm just so hot. By the time we got to Weaver that year, and remember the no poles thing?
Mm-hmm.
By the time we got to Weaver, which is that pointless out and back that is 3 miles downhill and then 3 miles back uphill, the trail was like the thickest, slickest, disgusting mud I have ever seen in my life. Like I'm not even kidding when I say that I came across people prior to that just like had slipped in the mud going uphill on a section of the BMT and was like holding on to a rock trying to get back on their feet. Kind of slick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There, of course, it's two-way traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back up Weaver, I slipped and caught myself no less than 5 times. And the last time I like wrenched around really hard and I was like, ooh, I think I just hurt my back. So I made it all the way down to the bottom of Weaver that year. Some friends of mine, we were all running together. It was myself and Whitney Stanley and Joseph Foster. And Joseph did really well. He was cold, so he went on back up Weaver, and Whitney was having a hard time, and my back was throbbing. And it's really hard to tell during a race because 48 miles hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how much vert has been in that 48 miles or how quick or how slow you did it, 48 miles sucks. Like your body hurts. And when it's been raining for 6 hours, everything's just weird. And so it took me hanging out at the aid station for about 20 minutes and like kind of moving my body around to be like, I'm 98% sure I have pulled a muscle in my back. And I went home. I left. I was like, I have done this before. I have pushed myself through an injury for no good reason to try and, prove it to my own ego that I'm capable of this, and ended up sidelined for several months. I want to finish, but I want to be healthy because we clean houses for a living. So it's not like I don't have a desk job. I can't go to work on Monday and just sit down. I had muscled through pain before and come out badly on the other side. And I was like, well, that was a really hard lesson. So I'm going to pull myself out and feel really stupid tomorrow when it's just that my back hurts because I've climbed 12,000 feet, but it wasn't. My back was actually pulled. And it took me probably 8 weeks before I could run more than 5 or 6 miles without having like a lot of back pain. And so I feel like I made a good decision there. And everybody always gives me a hard time because they're like, but you made it to 48 miles of 50. And I'm like, who does not 50? And according to my watch, and like I run out there all the time, so I know I had 13 miles to go because I've spent so much time on the Flat Creek Loop, on Stanley Gap, on Aska, like all those trails over there running, that I knew exactly how many miles I had left. And it sucked to pull myself out, but I wanted to be able to continue running. And then having to sit out for 8 weeks, I was like, well, that was justified.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just sit out for 8 weeks for funsies,
Well, and it's really hard, like when you're in that moment, to make that decision. I mean, it's just something where you feel like you're going to regret it if you do decide to pull out, or you just, are you just kind of wimping out? And then the next day you sit there and think, did I do the right thing? But if your back was actually pulled, then I think you realize you did the right thing. And it's such a fine line to try to figure that out. And sometimes we make the right decision, sometimes we don't. And it's I don't know if there ever really is a wrong decision because you're only doing the best you can based on the judgment you have,
Right.
And 48 miles, though, I feel so bad for you because you're so close.
So the second time I DNF'd, it was I will just say a severe chafing issue in a delicate area.
That's the only place that you can shave for mine.
I don't mind like the sports bra chafe or like the pack on your back chafe or whatever, but this was a different kind of chafe, and I had tried all the things, and I was still just continuing to rack up more chafing, and it got to kind of a breaking point, and I was like, wow, I can't walk.
Oh, wow.
That's some rough chafing.
Yeah, it is. That's bad.
Oh, goodness. And that's miserable.
It is.
That is
for sure.
miserable.
Yeah.
We saw that this past weekend at our Last Man Standing. The poor guy ran till he was bleeding.
Yeah, I did.
That's rough. Yeah, I can only imagine what that shower feels like. So
I did learn a valuable lesson twice. Sandy Geisel, I think is how you say her last name. Sandy and Mike. Sandy is the one that found my brand new, had gotten it for Christmas, Houdini, and mailed it back to me from Fierce Dragon.
Well, that's nice.
And then it was, And then I ran into her at Cruel Jewel while I was waiting for my ride. And, she was like, what are you doing in that chair? And I was like, oh man, I'm so chafed, and gave her more details. And then she asked me some questions, and she was like, she helped me solve what was going on. She was like, well, in the future, you have to start fresh every time when you're applying lube.
There you go.
You cannot just apply lube on top of lube. Well, that is new information to me. So
That's
now I know.
It's a hard lesson learned. Goodness
It
gracious.
was a hard lesson learned.
Yeah, I've had some chafing before, but minimum, and I want to keep minimum as my study.
I like to stay smooth.
Yeah, I don't prefer it. It took me a while to figure out stuff that works, and then unfortunately, I'm just like a heavy salt sweater.
Yep.
And so once my sweat, like I sweat and it dries, then that lends itself to more chafing because the dried sweat is scratchy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The worst I ever shaved was actually on just a long run at a beach in Florida.
Oh wow.
And I just went on a 45-minute run. And normally when I would run less than an hour, I just, sometimes I'd put stuff on, sometimes I wouldn't, like if I'm just running an easy run for 45 minutes, I mean, I'm not even put anything on. I no longer do that. But I was running, and I guess where the wind was just blowing and I was sweating, the sand ended up sticking to my my armpit.
Oh yeah.
And I was bleeding on both sides by the time I got back. And I was like, it's one of those where you're just standing there in front of the Airbnb you're doing the chicken wing, and you're like,
Yep.
That was a 45-minute run. What happened? What happened?
If I do chafe, that's one of those places I do because I'll forget to put anything on there. But then a short time in, you're like, I have messed up. Big time.
It's so funny because you can run so many training runs and never have a problem.
Yep.
And I swear, this happened to me just a month ago. Because I normally don't wear a shirt. It's a running joke. I don't wear a shirt when I run. Everybody knows this at this point. But sometimes I'll wear a singlet, if it's kind of cool or something. And I'm on another 45-minute easy run on a greenway. I run and come back, and I thought, man, my nipples are kind of getting a little sore. And I walk up, and this was right before my Mini Cooper blew up. So, but I walk up to my Mini, and I just see my reflection in the window because I'm wearing a yellow singlet, and it looks like two big red spots on the outside of the singlet. And I look down, and then I was like, shit. All of those people have saw me run by them with just blood running down my nipples. And I'm like, I'm that guy.
You're that guy.
I'm like, when did this happen? And I'm just like, man, I've just got to put lube on everywhere
everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because you can train and train and train and train. And then it's all of a sudden one day it happens. And you're like, why now?
That's new.
Yeah. I get it. But going back to Cruel Jewel, man, are you going to sign up in 2026? I just have to know.
All of my girlfriends keep asking me if I'm going to go back for Cruel Jewel, and I am not. This year was maybe I can get talked into it one day, but this year is still so fresh in my mind. And before I had my hysterectomy, which is how I ended up in surgical menopause, I could tolerate the heat a little better. This year, I think I ended up very near a heat stroke. I think it was definitely heat exhaustion. I never went to the doctor or anything like that, but my day went off the rails very early, where I was climbing 35-minute miles. Okay.
Ooh.
35-minute miles.
That's a long.
Let's take a few steps, catch your breath.
Yeah.
Take a few steps, catch your breath. And it wasn't because I wasn't acclimated to the terrain, because I had done all the climbing, I had done all the long running and stuff like that. I think my body, it stormed so bad before the start of the 50, and it was a bajillion% humidity.
Yep.
And my heart rate was 180 the entire time I was trying to climb up Coosa, which is your first big climb. I mean, you climb right out of the gate, of course, and then you drop down into Wolf Creek, and then you have to climb Coosa. But the entire time I'm climbing Kusa, like I'm literally taking 5 to 10 steps, and then I have both of my poles and they're sitting out in front of me, and I'm just bent over trying to catch my breath because my heart rate won't come down. And I spent until mile 18 dealing with that, and then I got an ice cold like craft Coca-Cola from Thompson at the fish cap aid station that he had brought for me because he's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I just want a cold Coca-Cola."
Oh yeah.
So he poured the Coke over ice, and I drank the entire thing, and I was like, "Man, that doesn't make
Yeah.
And then I felt good for about 5 miles, and then I started having tummy trouble, and then I had tummy trouble for the next 25 miles.
Oh, wow.
And at one point, I realized that it had been about 10 miles, and I had stopped sweating,
Oh, yeah.
and I had only had about 500, like maybe 500 milliliters of anything to drink in the last several hours. And I was having a hard time. Like, I would put food in my mouth, and I would have to just like hold my nose, chew, 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 swallow. And I would have to say that, chew, 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 swallow. Like, you have to put food in if you want to keep moving. Chew, 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 swallow. And then my stomach would immediately become very gassy, and then I would start burping. And so I finally got some water down, and I started sweating again. And I was like, oh, it's not because I've just cooled off. I'm actually in a bad place right now.
Mm.
And so my body was fine. Like, my legs felt good. I wasn't super chafed. Like, everything else was going as well as it could have that day. My stomach and body just would not hold on to it. And it took until Wednesday night
Oh.
before I could eat more than a few bites of anything, or
Oh, wow.
like drink water more than just a couple of sips. And I've never experienced that before, and I was very frustrated DNFing a third time because, like, part of that run was so triumphant for me because I'm going to try not to cry. I have dealt with so many health problems related to me having the hysterectomy that it has been difficult to keep up with the training and stuff. And after the hysterectomy, I had several health problems come up because of the menopause. And I just had an orthopedic guy be like, "Well, you're one of the rare cases where I have to tell people to stop doing so much. Like, maybe your body just won't." And I was like, I don't accept that answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you. I'll try it anyway,
Yeah.
because I have gluteal tendinopathy that I have to deal with just all the time now because of the low estrogen. And I am on like hormone replacement therapy and stuff like that, which helps.
Mhm.
But I'm still just constantly like, I have to fight for every mile I get. And crossing the marathon and the 50K was great. And
Yeah.
I was so excited that day that I was like, look, I can still do this.
That's
So to
awesome.
realize that now my body just outright rejects heat is like very painful because, and I didn't ever really sign up for like a lot of summer races or anything like that, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna finally finish Crawl Jewel, and then that happened. And then even for Father's Day this year, I took my husband out. He was mountain biking and I was running with him, which is something that we do a lot. And he had never seen a section of trail on the Pinhoti, like right here by the house. So I took him out there to do that, and it was only 15 miles, and I hit the same kind of heat exhaustion in 10 that I hit in 28 that day in 10. And I was like, 10? 10 is such a small number. What are we doing? So that part has been frustrating, but I'm gonna still keep trying.
Yeah.
So what
maybe
you're
not cruel jewel, but maybe I'll do. Sarah's like, we'll just do like winter cruel jewel for fun. And so this year I turned 40 in February, and I'm trying to talk my girlfriends into doing the Georgia Loop.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. So what you're really telling me is that you're going to PR in the winter.
For sure. For sure.
I love it.
I'm looking forward to, I mean, even right now, just like being able to get out and go run and not like die of a heat stroke is fantastic. And so, like, all of my girlfriends know, like, I have such a wonderful community of strong running women here in LJ. And they all know that I love to run in the winter, and most of them prefer the summer. So they're like, "Oh, look, Mariah's here in shorts."
Oh yeah.
We have a runner, he's in Knoxville, but he can't hardly run anything in the summer. He sweats so bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when he tries to race in the summer, he'll DNF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his prime time is winter. Like when winter gets here, he's all pumped up. You'll see him out there in shorts and a singlet.
He's fast too.
And I look like that kid from the Christmas Story out there with, my full onesie zipped up and gloves and a toboggan. Like I'm not the guy that even looks like I'm going to run, and he's over there in a singlet. And I'm like,
I know I got a track race next weekend, and I'm like in my mind trying to figure out what do I got to wear to stay warm, because I know it's going to get cold, and I'm like, I got my thermal leggings, I got this, I'm like, I am not freezing.
Mariah shows up in shorts, tank top, and a beach chair.
Yeah, she's ready to go.
I think it was 2 years ago. I was like, you know what? I am just not loving leggings anymore.
Yeah.
Like pretty much all they make anymore is high-rise leggings, and I hate them. I don't want anything to come above my belly button. I want like mid-rise. I don't need to be
That's all
low-rise.
Matt runs in.
Leggings?
I actually
he didn't even catch it.
I actually ordered me a pair of some thermal like legging type things for next weekend.
I meant the high rise leggings.
I can't wear no. I ain't doing no high rise.
The high rise.
But Brittany
what I don't like about leggings is if you run, if you run far enough, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the leggings are wet because you're sweating. No matter how hot or cold it is outside, I am sweating. So getting the leggings back in the position that they were in before you go to the bathroom is the most awful part.
Yeah.
Well, it's even like I wear like the compression tights for my running shorts, and they're the same way. Like they'll feel perfect. Then all of a sudden you go to the bathroom and you're like, why do these things not fit how they were like just a minute ago?
You spend the rest of the run just like overstimulated because your pants are in the wrong place.
Trying to readjust them. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yep.
So I just started running in shorts, and I have run almost every single outdoor run in the winter, including in the snow, except for one day. So we all went for like a 20-mile run that day, and it was the coldest day. Not this past winter, but the winter before. So 2 winters ago in January, the feels like that day was in the negatives, and I think it got up to 16.
Ooh.
I wore pants that day. But that's the only time, like, we all went for like a fun run on like the swinging bridge section here. It's like over in Suches area. It's really pretty. You run over the Toccoa River. We ran like a half marathon that day, and it had been like spitting some flurries here and there. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll still wear shorts. No big deal. Well, we got over there, and it was like 5 or 6 degrees colder, and the wind was howling, and it's snowing. And I'm like, I think I might lose a leg today, but I still managed. I'm like, if you run fast enough, you'll be warm.
Yeah, that's right. Run faster.
Is that on the Benton Mackay Trail?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, Mariah, let's talk a little bit. We're about 50 minutes in. Let's talk a little bit about how did you start race directing? Where did the whole I want to put on a race come from?
So living here in LJ, there's not really a lot of events. There are events, a lot of trail races in North Georgia, but I started recreating out in the Coyotes because we live 15 minutes away. And I got to really know the trails, like mountain biking them and then running them. And I was like, why are there no races here? Like there were, and now there's not. These trails are so beautiful, and they're they're perfect trails. What is wrong with them? So I really wanted to start small. So I called the city of LJ and I was like, hey, I would like to put on like a Christmas lights 5K at night because the town decorates itself up really cute for Christmas, and it is like the highlight of my season when they turn like the lamppost lights on and have the big Christmas tree in the square lit up. And there's several houses in the downtown area that really decorate really nicely for the holidays, and it's just beautiful. It's like my favorite time of year to go running. It's frigid and beautiful and Christmas lighty. And they said, a 5K at night? Yeah, I don't know. I don't, and they just like gave a lot of pushback about it, and yeah, I don't know, maybe you can submit your application and we'll talk about it. And I was like, fine. I guess I'll figure out how to put on a trail race then, since you guys don't want a 5K in December. And that was how that happened. I guess it was go big or go home.
So what was your first event?
Our first event was the Coyote Ugly 30K and 50K. And it surprised the crap out of me and sold out the first year.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is good.
I mean, we set it at 75 people because I was like, we probably won't even get that. And
Yeah.
then we had a wait list, and I was like, I don't know what to do here. Like, what do you mean it's sold out? So that was kind of an exciting experience. Putting on the first race was terrifying.
Yeah.
We overthought everything. Everything. But it turned out really well. I mean, people crossed the finish line. I have never been so tired and so full of joy and like overcome with emotion. Like it was the best, hardest day
Yep.
to be a race director that day. Like I didn't know that you could have your heart filled up in such a way just to facilitate that experience for people and have them cross the finish line and just like give you the biggest hug and like ugly cry all over you. Like, and so I was just like, wow, that was like really awesome and fulfilling, like, and hard, but awesome and fulfilling enough to make me want to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a joy.
It is.
Your first race, your first event, it's amazing how you can overplan and just overstress, and then when it finally gets here and when the race finally starts, that's almost like when you get to take a deep breath
Yeah.
and you really start to enjoy it and see what race directing truly is. And get to see runners and sharing their stories and getting to see them push themselves in a way that they would never have had the opportunity to if you had not put that event on. And that's what's so fun about it. And kudos to you, like selling out your first race. That's stressful, but also at the same time, like that's almost like driving your passion because you were successful and people, people signed up for your event. Where did the name come from?
So it's kind of a layered approach to the name. you guys, I'm sure, have experienced this before, running. I don't know how often you get into the woods like very early in the morning in the winter, but I was spending a lot of time with one of my girlfriends running we would meet at between 3:30 and 4:30 at the trailhead on a weekday.
Oh, that's real. Oh, wow.
I was driving like 25 minutes to meet her 2 or 3 days a week to go run at between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning on trails, and I'd never run trails at night before, and certainly never at 4 o'clock in the morning. Um, and we started doing this in the winter, and the number of times we were, I want to say chased, but we never saw the coyotes. They're just loud.
Yeah.
And we would start running, and I would be like, "Oh boy, you hear those coyotes? Yeah, yeah, we hear the coyotes. Okay, yeah, okay." Run a little bit further, and you're like, "Wow, we were really loud when we heard those coyotes, like clapping and just yelling and not like howling or anything, just like trying to scare them off or whatever." And like the whole pack would be getting closer and closer, and then we would leave. Like, because I mean, I have, and this may be slightly controversial, but I have on more than one occasion run with a small defense
Oh, yeah.
mechanism.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend would be like, "Don't you have your gun?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I've only got 6 bullets. I'm going to have to see them to hit them.
Yep.
We got 2 headlamps between us. It's not looking good for us." So several times I have been encouraged out of the woods by packs of coyotes. And yet I still keep coming back.
So that's
And
where the
so
name was born?
that is where the name was born. It was either that or White Dog Adventures was the other, because we have a speckled pitty named Delilah, and she's a white with speckles pitty, and she's a sweet jerk. She loves everyone in our house, and she loves you once you get in the house. But anyway, so it was either White Dog Adventures, which was too similar to how some other race companies uh, chose their name, so I chose not to do that, and we went with Coyote Ugly Racing. And everybody's like, "Oh, well, did you name it after the movie?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, like as a teen girl, I obviously loved that movie because we all loved that movie when we were teenagers when it came out, or everyone I knew did anyway. But it doesn't really have anything to do with that. It's more about how I keep coming back for more,
I don't think
even
it was
though
just
it
teenage
hurt
girls
me.
that loved that movie.
Yeah. I think I actually watched it a
I
time or
mean, to
two.
be fair,
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't just teenage girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do love the movie, but it doesn't really have anything to do with that except for the analogy that they give about, why is it Coyote Ugly? And it's because you'd rather gnaw your arm off than whatever. But, trail running keeps hurting me and I keep coming back for more of it. So, and I think we're all guilty of that because, you run a race, you have a hard time or whatever. Like literally after 5 of those DNFs on there, I was like, that's it. I'm running half marathons. I don't want to play anymore. This is dumb. I keep hurting myself. I've hurt my own feelings, and I keep coming back for more.
Well, did you have any excitement in your first event? Did anything go crazy, or was everything pretty smooth?
The worst thing that happened, we had a gentleman come and he swept the entire 50K. And I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
okay, that's great. And then my husband swept about 20 miles of it on a bike. And I sent out like a Google Sheet link for all the volunteers, like how to set up an aid station kind of stuff, just because I mean, we had some people who had never really volunteered or who had volunteered but had never been like an aid station like captain or whatever. So I wrote out like, this is how you open and close an aid station. And the last thing it said, highlighted, was do not close your aid station until the sweeps come through.
Uh-oh.
We had 2 aid stations close before the sweeps came through. And so they spent 15 miles without any aid.
Oh, man, that's a long day.
That was a long day for them. And I gave him an entire case of beer for that. And of course, whenever Mateo wants to race, he's good for it. I owe you so big. I am so sorry. But like at A Station would come and drop their stuff off at the finish line. And I would be like, oh, because I was wondering how Corey, my husband, was doing. I'm like, oh, how are Corey and Mateo? And they're like, oh, we didn't see them.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, what do you mean you didn't see them? Well, we checked off all the people on the list. I'm like, what about the sweeps? No, I didn't see them. And then the next aid station came back, and I was like, cool. Did you happen to see Corey and Mateo? They weren't able to get aid at the next to last aid station. And they were like, nope, I never saw them. I checked off my people, and everybody came through. So,
Oh, man.
and I was like,
That's not good.
No.
oh, no. So,
Were they good about it in the end?
well, thankfully, one of them I am married to. So he was not thrilled, but
Oh, yeah.
understood. And
Yeah.
Mateo was very nice about the whole thing. I apologized profusely. I was like, how can I make this up to you? Because you spent 15 miles and at least probably like the last 10 sharing a water bottle with my husband. Like, no, I mean, but
I mean, you paid him in beer, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I did. I bought a bunch of beer for our first race, and we don't drink. And I was like, well, I have 1 beer for every person plus like a beer for some volunteers, you know, because I know some people will drink none and some people might drink a couple, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We had like 50 leftover beers, and I was like, we don't even drink. Like, what are we gonna do with these beers? So I started giving them away, and I think I literally gave him like 20 of them. I'm like, just take the rest of these, please. And it was all like,
he's a lifetime sweeper.
He's like, if this is what I get, I'm coming back.
I felt so bad about that though, because that is so long to go without enough fuel, and dangerous. I mean, thankfully it wasn't terribly hot that day. I think it was like 55 or maybe 60. You know, it was the first weekend in March, but that was none of the runners knew anything was wrong, but yeah, I certainly did at some point during the day. I found out.
You had nobody break a leg, none of that stuff.
We did have a lady fall and dislocate her shoulder, and then take some Advil at 10 miles, and then fall again later and pop it back in.
Oh,
well, I mean,
that worked out.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's a great story.
She finished that.
That's a great story.
I'm like, heck yeah, you dislocated your shoulder today. And we're like, no, it's fine. I'm going to keep running. Hi, guys. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So you started with that event. Well, how many do you have now?
This year we did the Coyote Ugly 30K and 50K. We put on our first iteration of a 50 and 100 miler in April called Farrell Mountain. We did a summer series for Southeastern Trust for Parks and Land. That was a 4-race 5K, 10K, 10-mile series. We had a daytime and a nighttime race at each park to kind of get people into running trails in the dark. And then we have 2 races in November. The first Saturday in November is the Fire Tower 40 miler and 100K. And the third weekend in November is Kahada Madness, which is a 4, 8, and 12-hour loop course race.
Sweet.
Are you
Yeah.
going to add any new ones?
Well, probably not anytime soon. We also race BMX.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, we are gonna race on the national circuit this year.
That's fun.
BMX racing has its own sanctioning body, and that's USA BMX, and they put on races all over the country at tracks. We have 5 of them here in Georgia, and my goal for that this year is to get a NAG plate, which is National Age Group. You have to race 8 or 10 national races wherever they're having them, and accumulate points, and then go to a big race at the end of the year, the week of Thanksgiving. And like it's very interesting with BMX racing, because like however you finish in your district points wise, or however you finish nationally points wise, or in the like regionally, like they call it Gold Cup. That's like Southeast, Southwest, Northeast, Northwest, blah blah. That's the number that you run on your number plate the next year. So it's like a big deal to, everybody really cares about what number plate you have. So we're gonna race nationally with the BMX stuff this year. So that will take up a lot of time. And something I haven't really told anyone is that I'm starting back to college in January.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
So I don't know that I have enough time to put
You
on
know,
more races. I have lots
yeah.
of ideas.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think we were talking earlier about not having any time, and it seems like more more stuff is added.
Yeah, I have some ideas for a really cool 50K that's an out and back here. It's perfect. I mean, like between 5 and 6,000 feet of berg.
Ooh.
It would be a really good summer race because there's a ton of creek crossings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also maybe potentially thinking about a USATF
Yep.
track event.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I have to talk to the school board about that kind of stuff, but
So
that's something that we've definitely thrown around.
So you are going to add events.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
No. Those are just ideas,
I know how ideas
You
are.
know,
every time I tell these guys I have an idea, I don't know if they get excited or sad.
Well, it's like we have because with as many race directors as we've got over here, we've all got these new ideas.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, hey, I got this place and you got this place, and I found this one. Oh yeah, it's like I don't think we have enough weekends in a year to put on all these events and then still race, because we race I race every other weekend, it seems like. So
yeah, y'all do a lot of racing. I love racing, but I find myself running more like self-supported stuff.
Yeah.
Just for time wise, we try to spend a lot of time together as a family. So
hey, that's great though.
Yeah.
I definitely want to start messing around more with FKTs. I think I'm going to transition to that after mid-state this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be on my list soon. But what is so let me ask you this before we transition into questions. And this may be a question, but that's already on your list, but maybe not. So I have 2 questions. But the first one is, what is your favorite race that you put on?
Oh boy. I honestly think it's probably Fire Tower.
Fire Tower.
And why?
I mean, it would have to be between Fire Tower and Farrell Mountain, and it's for different but kind of the same reasons. Fire Tower has such a unique layout compared to our other races, because you start out with like an obscene number of miles of downhill. Forest Service Road at that.
Yep.
And so we started the last 2 years at Mulberry, but Mulberry had a wedding this year, so we started from a different trailhead. When you start at Mulberry, you have about 8 miles of downhill, and when we start at the trailhead, you have about 12 miles of net downhill, where you might have 1,000 feet of vert in the first, in the first 12 miles. But you probably have like 2,000 feet of downhill or more.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have like a 4-mile, 2,500 feet of vert, rock garden, 30% grade.
So is this course on like I know you got the Pinhoti and the BMT down there. Are these courses on completely different trails than those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I tell people all the time, this one section of trail it's called Windy Gap. It is like they use it for like a off-road vehicles. Like people take their dirt bikes out there and go ride dirt bikes on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the few places in the forest, like the U.S. Forest Service properties, that you can do that. Most mountain bikers ride down it.
Mm-hmm.
They shuttle to the top and ride down. If you're familiar at all with the DRT and maybe like the trails at Fort Mountain, it's like the DRT and the trails at Fort Mountain had a baby. It's got the steep, long climbs and more rocks than you'd like to see all day.
Oh,
sounds like a fun race.
Sounds perfect.
Brutally beautiful, and like it's always around peak leaf change, and so it's gorgeous. And then you get to run up to the fire tower, which used to be more fun, but they put a gate around it because it's old and rickety and people were climbing it and it shook like it was going to fall down. So they put a gate around it. But then you also run like half a loop around Lake Conestoga, and then you drop down into Bear Creek and do 2 sections on the Pinhoti as well. That's the 40-miler, and it's kind of, a lot of people who sign up for the 100K get back to the start finish to start their second lap. And I would say almost half of them this year were like, I don't want any more of that.
Yep.
No, thank you. That was a lot. And I asked for specifics, like what about it was a lot? And they're like, well, the vert and the trails. And it, like, I have been climbing all day. I'm like, yeah, it is net downhill, but that is not how it feels.
It's what we sign up for.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And Farrell,
I love that.
I mean, Farrell is kind of the same, and it's Farrell Mountain because you go up the 100-milers, go all the way up the Emery Creek Trail, which is like part obstacle course and part trail. I had never gone all the way to the top until last year when we were flagging it, and myself and our 16-year-old and our 9-year-old did the trail. I am not being facetious when I say we crossed the creek at least 15 times, if not 20.
Oh, wow.
And some of them were barely get your feet wet deep, and some of them were closer to knee deep.
Oh, wow.
It is 6.75 miles and 3,000 feet of vert.
Oh, man. That's cool.
And it is beautiful and rugged and remote and straight up. And honestly, you're just like, you're going along and you're like, the first 2.5, 3 miles, you're like, I thought you said this was a lot of vert. Where's the climbing? And then you find it, and then you just spend the next 3 miles going uphill.
That's pretty cool.
On that one, is it two loops for the 100-miler?
So the 100-miler does I think it's about 30 miles, like 28. They do like a 28-mile loop.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do a big out and back. You go up around here. We call it P. It's on the Pinhoti. Pinhoti's 3, 4, 5, and 6, all the way over to Dennis Mill. Which is it was like 4 and 4 is 8, and then 15 one way, 23 miles one way, and then you turn around and come back all but like 4 or 5 of that, and then go down and climb the Windy Gap section that I was talking about earlier. You climb that section at like mile 80.
Ooh.
Yeah. We had 3 people finish the 100. We had 7 people start. 3 of them finished, and the very first finisher finished in 35 hours.
Goodness.
And if you look at Jerry's ultra sign up, I think it is probably the most impressive one I've ever seen.
Is
He's
that
run all the hard stuff.
Okay. And he finished?
He
Gerardo.
finished. He was the first finisher, and he finished in 35 hours, and he sat down in the chair and took a breath, and I was like, "There's my first 100-mile finisher. Tell me how it was." And he was like, "You should be shot for that." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to take that as a compliment, whether you meant it that way or not." So.
Yeah, Gerardo's got 174 races.
Yes, and he does not pick the easy ones.
69 trophies.
That's what he signed up for then.
And then you had Rosie. Rosie finished.
Oh yeah, Rosie finished too. Yep, she was our only lady that finished, and she's so sweet.
Yeah, she's awesome.
How long? What's the cutoff for the 100-miler?
40 hours.
40 hours.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to push that.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do like everybody else, do like 44 or 45 hours and see if that helps.
Oh. Well,
but at the same time, like, you don't want to burn your volunteers and everybody out too.
Yeah,
that's the fine balance.
That was the hard part this year, is it being such a new and smaller race. Finding volunteers became quite difficult. And,
yeah, I think April went out.
Yes.
April Romeo, she went out volunteered for one of your aid stations.
God bless her. No, she saved my behind. Like, I didn't have anybody for this aid station, and she went out there.
She's pretty awesome.
She is awesome.
By herself in the middle of the night, which I absolutely hated, and worked an aid station and fought raccoons for a handful of people.
She's really great.
I hope she knows how much I appreciate what she did, and she even, I think, missed her friend Kara finishing, which is what she had said was the only thing that she wanted to make sure of. And then, yeah.
Well, she'll listen to this, so she'll hear it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't really want to extend it a whole lot. I know it's very hard, and it's not like the rest of the races we have put on. We did get some really good feedback about that one, about, there was no more than about 7 or maybe 8 miles between aid stations. Because I feel like as a runner, sometimes I've done a race where you get an aid station where it's 10 or 11 miles out, and that is too many for me. Some people, they may not feel that way, but for me, that is too many. And like, in creating these races and cutoffs, as a mid-pack runner or back of pack runner these days, it's important to me to make our races be more inclusive of people who are not going to be podium finishers.
Yeah.
Like, my whole thing with ultra running is it has given me the ability to know that I can do hard things. And I have a lot of hard days because of all the endometriosis and everything else I was dealing with. And I've got Meniere's disease, which sometimes rears its ugly head and causes me to have like tons of vertigo and just like throwing up and stuff like that. And knowing that I can overcome hard things on my worst days in the woods helps me to suffer a little easier when I'm dealing with stuff in my life. And the trail running community has given me my best friends. Like, there are 7 or 8 women that I spend so much time with, and I have met all of them through ultra running. And I value all of our friendships, and I want to give other women and men, but I want to give other women an opportunity to see how strong and powerful they are. Um, and I think a good way to do that is making, your races and finish times more approachable.
Yeah.
So,
Well, given that, I would like to ask you a question then that we ask all of our runners. I mean, all of our guests, and that is, why do you run? Why do you continue to do this given everything that has happened and, you've struggled with, especially in the last few, most recent times? But why do
yeah.
you continue to do it?
I find peace. I really struggle being happy on the inside. I'm really good at being happy on the outside, but I have a hard time being happy on the inside sometimes, and I have a hard time using nice words sometimes. And running helps me file down my sharp edges, is what I tell everyone. But really, it just gives me like a sense of peace and allows me to process things in a way that is not destructive. There's a reason I don't drink. Um, I like it a little too much. And so that was a choice I made a while ago to move away from doing a destructive behavior. So it helps me a lot with my mental health, and it helps me to know, like, on my hardest days, I am still capable. And of course, all the wonderful people it has brought into my life. You know, I have friends here in LJ that are not running friends, but I aggressively pursued friendships. And that's been a really fun experience. Just the community that it brings you to, and I really enjoy like the trail and ultra community because they are like, I've never been a really fast runner, so um nobody cares, you know. Nobody
Yeah.
cares. You're having a bad day, we're glad you're here. You're having your best day, high fives all around, you know. You're having your worst day, let me help you try to overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the snacks don't suck.
Oh, absolutely. We all run for snacks.
I got the guy I work with at work. He's like, so you just run to like these races to different aid stations? I'm like, yeah, different aid stations got different foods.
They
So you
do
just
have
run to
different
the
foods.
next one. It's like, what are you going to eat? Especially when everything falls apart. You're just like, hey, I wonder if they got a burger at the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, I'll never forget coming down to what they called a far out aid station at Mystery Mountain Marathon, and I could smell the bacon. And I was like, I'm fixing to have my best day.
Man, bacon is one of those things at a race you can smell miles away.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is one of those, like, it will make you start running. Like, you're like, oh, God, I just want some bacon. I got to get there before everybody else eats it.
I
Yep.
just did North Stand 50K, and Brian Gage, the race director for No Business, was there.
Yeah.
And I'm coming out there. I could just smell it. And I'm like, I was doing good. I was doing only liquid fuel. And I come running by. He goes, you want some bacon? I'm like, oh man, I do, but no, I can't. He's like, you're gonna say no to bacon? And I'm like, I'm doing good. My stomach's not going south.
Yeah.
But it smelled like you said. You can smell it.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mariah. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Matt, and he's going to ask you the listener questions now.
All right, we got a couple. The first one is, what's the most difficult part about hosting races, and what do you wish more people realized?
The most difficult part about races is finding volunteers. And I wish more people would enjoy races from the other side of the table, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really is the hardest part. It's hard to logistically plan stuff and figure out parking and stuff like that, but none of that really matters if you can't get somebody to throw quesadillas at people.
I
You
mean,
know?
you're not lying.
Yeah.
I mean, volunteers is probably one of the hardest things that you stress about in the beginning because you're trying to fill all the aid stations. It's became so important, like for us with some of these races and how often we put races on.
Mm-hmm.
We have Micah, who we have put just strictly over his entire race directing focus is volunteers.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
day of, weeks before, and
Oh, yeah.
he's done a great job, but like we just have one person that's all they focus on because
Yeah.
I mean they're the heart and soul of the race.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And I mean, it's really hard. And like as a newer race director, I was like, well, like I know how I looked at new races before I was a race director, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
let that one go for the first year and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and now I'm like, oh, you're a new race director? Do you need me to come volunteer at your aid station? Do you need me to work overnight at your aid station?
Yep.
And that really got me into volunteering more. Like, I still don't volunteer as many weekends as I'd like to, but like, you know, anytime I see a local race director that's like, hey, I need somebody to volunteer, I'm like, what am I doing that day? I could probably swing at least part of that shift.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, do you have friends that are running? I'm like, no, I'm just a race director, and I know how hard it is to get volunteers.
Yep.
If you need volunteers past lunchtime, you might have a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need somebody to work an aid station overnight, you are going to have an even harder time.
Yep.
And that's
Wait.
fair. That's very fair. You know, I understand nobody wants to stay up all night when you're not the one that's running or you don't have friends that are running, but the races don't happen without volunteers, which is why we are so like generous with our volunteers. You know, I don't care how many hours you work an aid station, you can have a free race and some swag. You know, please eat on your way out the door. If I have beer, take some. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like I said, they're the heart and soul of the race, and
They really are.
good volunteers. I mean, they're priceless.
And it always makes you feel really good, like when the runners, finish and they'll say, "Hey, those aid stations, those volunteers, they helped me. I was going to
Oh, yeah.
quit, and they helped me get back together." I mean, we
Yeah.
had like the first year that we put the Cherokee on, we had Brian Vermillion. He's on our race team, but he was
Yeah.
doing the 130K, and he gets to the other side. It's an out and back on the 130K,
Yeah.
and he gets over there and he just sits down. He says, "I quit. I'm done. I'm not going back out." And the volunteers at that aid station were like, we're getting all your stuff together. They got all of this stuff. And, 30 minutes later, he's back out on the course.
Yeah.
And then he passes first place and he actually ends up winning the race.
Holy
But,
cow.
he was going to quit. But if it wasn't for those volunteers,
Yeah.
It was because they gave him a sticker.
bracelet.
Bracelet. The stickers came after the fact.
Yeah.
That's right. It was the bracelet.
Give
You
him
know,
a little.
you don't know what's going to change someone's race sometimes,
Yeah.
You really don't.
Truly,
Like, even
you really
just the
don't.
smallest bit of encouragement can just really change their whole day.
Yep.
Or even just like I had a fun experience at our fire tower race. I always go up to the top of the nasty climb and wait for the first several runners to come through because they all have something to say about it, which is so much fun for me. I really do. Like, I want them to do hard things, and so I sit there and I'm like waiting like a kid in a candy store for them to come up the climb. And there's a guy that came up and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I've been like throwing up already for a while, and I just don't feel well." And I'm like, "Well, have you tried some ginger ales?" Like, it may not work, but it might. I was like, my advice to you would be to get a couple of those crackers over there and fill up your flask with like half ginger ale and half water, and then just walk to the next aid station and see how you feel.
Yep.
And I saw him again at the finish line, and he was running the 100K, and I was like, "How are you feeling now?" He's like, "Oh, I'm feeling so much better. I have had ginger ale in my bottle all day. It's been great." And I was like, "Fantastic. Here's a cheeseburger." And he's like, I don't think I want one of those." And I was like, "No, you do. You really do want a cheeseburger. A cheeseburger at 40 miles will change your life." And he was like, "Oh, okay, sure." And sure enough, a cheeseburger at 40 miles did change his life, and he went on to finish the 100K.
See, listen to the RD.
Yep.
Not always. I mean, he could have had a real bad day, but it worked out for him that time. So.
All right, my next one is: what is your favorite trail that you get to run on daily?
Bear Creek.
Bear Creek.
No hesitation. Bear Creek. The first 2.6 miles of Bear Creek are my favorite trail in the whole system. It is. You spend like a mile and a half running next to like this rambling, rock-filled, rhododendron-covered, beautiful creek. And then, on both sides of you, the mountains just go up, and it's nothing but hemlocks and rhododendrons. And the trail itself is very technical and rocky, and you cross the creek a couple of times, and it is my happy place. I like to take people there.
That's awesome.
Well, the next question is, what is one trail that you wish everyone could see? So I guess that might be it.
Yeah, I think Bear Creek is a really good one to see. I can't think of another one that I run with any regularity that I would really say like, "Oh man, you have to see this. It is so." And there's not like any beautiful long range views or anything until you get all the way to the top, and then there's the Bear Creek overlook, which I think is something everyone should see. It's 180 degrees. You can see the sunset or the sunrise and the sunset from the same overlook.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That's
well,
cool.
Everybody needs to put that on their list.
Bear Creek. Yep. And that is all of the questions that I have.
All right, Mariah. So the very last question is, do you have any questions for us?
What are your favorite trail snacks?
Oh, favorite trail snacks. Oh, man.
Well, I can answer that real easy. Gummy bears. I love gummy bears. I can eat them. So gummy bears, orange slices, cherry slices, stuff like that. I absolutely love. And then I got to have a little salty to go with it. So my second favorite is Pringles.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man, I don't hardly eat any aid station stuff.
What do you pack in your pack?
But I don't like gel. I don't like gels. I do eat apples.
She's just saying, what's your favorite trail snacks? What do you fuel with? Because I mean, you just now started doing liquid. You
applesauce. I do like applesauces or baby food.
There you go.
Okay, very cool.
Kids' baby food.
Yep. Applesauces are good. Applesauce. I do like applesauce.
I've run 100-miler on applesauces.
Oof.
So
I could run several miles on applesauce. I don't know if I could run 100 miles on applesauce.
It was a backyard ultra, so I just came in, grabbed the applesauce, and it was.
Mariah, I will say he is used to puking. Like it's normal.
Yeah, that's normal. So. except for my last one. My last one, I didn't puke. But no, if I could have like one food at an aid station that would not make me sick, it would be or like some cheeseburgers. Give me cheeseburgers at an aid station. I could do that.
Cool Jewel always has cheeseburgers at mile 28. It's what keeps me coming back.
Well, I plan on doing the 50 next year.
I remember.
But
I
it is
remember
mile
my
28 of the 50 at Will Scott Gap. They have cheeseburgers and pizza rolls.
oh
Ooh,
nice
pizza rolls. Oh,
I remember
that's
the
new.
most excited I got at a race was when I was doing LC, and it's a last man standing.
Oh, and else, yeah.
And it was I don't know if they still do it every year. They probably do.
Not no more.
But it was the very first year that me and Mike and him had raced it there, and they bought Chick-fil-A for everybody.
Oh yeah,
and had sandwiches. And when we come up, they had Chick-fil-A sandwiches and French fries, and I was just like, "That's awesome!"
Oh yeah, Elsie. They would start you out with Dunkin' Donuts, and then they bring you Chick-fil-A, and then they'd have breakfast burritos.
That's something I can get behind.
Oh,
right.
This race, you didn't have to bring any food.
It's a well put on. It's a fun race. I mean, it's over in Ringgold, Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not very far from me. About an hour, probably.
They do it in February, but they're not doing it this year. This coming year.
Is that a 3 of 7?
No, it's at Elsie Holmes Recreational Park.
It's actually for I think they raise money for a school.
They raise money for something.
Yeah,
Very
but
cool.
They're great race directors, and it's it's a hard race.
Oh,
it's like a 2.4 mile loop.
Yep,
with over
about 500
feet elevation gain.
Ooh, yeah, that is stout.
40 minutes,
and you have 40 minutes to run it.
You got 40 minutes.
I count myself out of that one.
Every 40 minutes, and you run it reverse each time.
Yeah.
And there's one direction. It's uphill both ways to the finish line, no matter which way you go.
And it's up in the middle.
But what's really hard is the reverse or the first direction, I guess would be the normal direction. There's a set of stairs on the climb
with a rope.
Yep. And
oh no.
So and then the other direction, it's a slow, steady ascent all the way up.
Yep.
It feels like a mile. And either way, if you're behind on either direction, you have to run one of those hills. Yeah. And then you just see people just start falling apart. I was really excited. I was going to come back and run that race.
That's one of my
and now they've delayed it. They're going to wait till 2027.
That's one of my favorite races in February.
Yeah.
It is.
If you ever get a chance to volunteer or work it or even just experience it and run it, it's so fun. They do such a
such a good job.
And it's just in a little bitty park, little bitty state park right there.
It's a tiny little area.
It's cool though. It is a great race and pretty area. It's fun.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Mariah, thank you so much for getting on the podcast, sharing your story, telling us about your races and how you became a race director. And it's really cool just to see different race directors in different states and different regions, just what they're doing and how they're growing. And, we had heard good things about your races, and that's why we wanted to get you on here. One of our guests has just ran one of your races, Whitney. So, she did Fire Tower and, had a really fun experience there. She had messaged us and told us that she enjoyed your race. And, we'd already had you on the radar to get you scheduled anyway. So thank you. But continue doing what you're doing. Continue to put on races. And we hope we get to either run one of your races or volunteer at one of your races here soon.
Oh, we'd love to have you. I hope I get to come up there and run an East Coast Adventures race here soon. I have a girlfriend who runs your February race.
Gone Loco.
Which one, Melissa?
Yes.
Melissa?
She is one of my best friends.
And then Robin comes up here and runs.
Yes. Robin is someone I met because she took my local legend.
Oh, did you?
She took my local legend, and I messaged her, and I was like, we obviously run the same trails. We should be friends.
So one of my favorite pictures from the Cherokee is Robin. We redid the cover to the handbook this past year, and we put her on the cover of the handbook because it is so cool because she's coming through the finish line. It's just blacked out with fog coming up, and you just see her coming through the finish line with her headlamp. And it's like the perfect picture. It is so cool. It's one of my favorites. But she's a great person.
Talented.
She's already signed up for the Wacheezy Challenge for next year.
Oh yeah. I love it.
Okay. Yeah, she comes over the mountain and runs with us a lot. She doesn't have as many running girlfriends over in Chatsworth. as we have over here in LJ. So she'll come over here and run with us. And I tell you what, she'll put us to shame.
She's a
She's
good
like,
runner.
oh, if y'all want to run with me today, I'm like, Robin, you're a sandbagger, okay? Let's not talk bad about ourselves today.
I love it.
Yeah,
Well, if you ever want to run one of our races, make sure you message Matt or myself, because we give race directors a special entry. So just shoot us a message and we'll take care of you.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you having me on the podcast today and giving me an opportunity to talk about our races and talk about my running journey and experience race directing. And I loved listening to your podcast, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing for the running community.
Well, thank you, Mariah. And one last thing before we let you go. Where can people learn more about your races?
Our website is www.coyoteuglyracing.com, and we're under Coyote Ugly Racing on Facebook and Instagram, and all of our races are listed on Ultra Sign Up. I think everything but the summer series is under our Coyote Ugly Racing link on there, and I update all that stuff myself, so I try to keep it up to date and
we know. We feel you. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
We usually find out something's wrong when someone emails
somebody. Right, like, hey, this is the wrong. We're like, sorry.
Yep. That's what I found out too.
It said packet pickup was yesterday.
It's like I'm sure this is this Friday night, but like, yep, you're right.
But no, we totally get that. But Mariah, thank you so much. And guys, check out her website. Check out Ultra Sign Up. Look under Coyote Ugly Racing. Only hearing good things about her races in Georgia, so please check her out. And Mariah, thank you again so much for your time, and we can't wait to see you out on the trails.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.